What is up, Night Runners? It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut. We have the Night Runners prologue in front of us. I supported the developers on Patreon, so I get a copy of it to show all of you guys how cool this game is. I've already streamed it for like 6 hours. I expected to just run through it for a couple hours, have fun with it, and then the prologue ended up being really deep. And there was lots to do, and it's a lot of fun. And so, let me show you everything that I can about this game, because there is so much passion and love that has been put into this. And I really want to try to like touch on everything that I see as being really cool and attention to detail, because I think that you guys are going to love it. It says we have 12 hours left. That's the nighttime. The game runs during the night from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. And so we have all night to go and get into some trouble, run around and do stuff. I'm going to show you the garage. I'm going to show you some stock cars. I'm going to show you all the upgrade paths. I'm going to show you all the customization. I'm going to show you everything that I know. This is going to be a long video. So skip around, pick the timestamps that work for you, see the stuff you want to see. But if you want to learn everything that I can show you about the game, buckle up, Buttercup, because there's a lot here, and it's so cool. Let's get into it. When you start the game, you're going to be given some money, and you will go to the auction. I've already done that, obviously, and I've bought multiple cars from the auction, but I want to show you some things about the auction so that later when you guys are playing the game, you might be into that. There will be multiplayer. You would go here and you would enter multiplayer. Obviously, it's not available in the demo. I think it's really cool that there's some kind of like not very high pixel rated cases on the floor. That to me looks like Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition and Need for Speed Underground 2. And I'm looking at those controllers and I know that is a Sega PlayStation 360. So I'm sure that it's really, really nice. Sega PS 360 controllers. When you go to the auction, you'll go here to your dial-up 56K modem terminal, and you'll go to the Japanese car auction. This is where the attention to detail immediately hit me in the first screens. Bayshore Motors imports and exports. If you know, you know. When we go into the import-export, this is a Japanese car auction. The way that Japanese car auctions work in real life, if you've ever gone and toyed around looking to see maybe if you were going to buy yourself something from the Japan market, you get a card like this that's written up briefly about the cars. They are graded from level 1 all the way from grade 1 to grade 5, 5 being the best. And they usually have a little write-up on what it is to expect from the car, if it's got damage, if it smells like cigarettes, if it's got stains on the seats, if it has a rod knock, if it doesn't start, if it doesn't have a title. Insert reasoning there, they would write it up. So this car's got a full tank of fuel. This is the Porsche K6 Turbo. I cannot actually select that car because it's not available in the demo. When you start the game, they're all going to be Nissan Silvias or Sanuses. But for me, because I've already been playing a little bit, there's some other cars available. Give you an idea what you'll be able to get. Now, this is a Sanus Lavisa, which is a Nissan Silvia, 1989. Tank is almost empty, and it's reported stolen 6 years ago. You can go in and you can look at the car. When you're starting, almost all the cars are going to be stock, and you just pick whatever one you want. You do get to go through the pictures, so you'll see that the picture of the interior, stock interior, under the hood, stock under the hood. There's nothing different there that I see. I will show you one of the cars that does have a little bit different parts on it. And so you can kind of get a walk-around feature of what you're going to buy. It's kind of a cool little touch. You'll see that this car, it says inline 4, 2.0 liter manual. If you buy a car with a manual transmission, that's what you have in that car for the rest of the time you own it. You can't switch it to automatic. You can't go in the settings and toggle automatic transmission mode. What you buy is what you get. So if you're an auto player, buy an auto car. If you're a manual player, buy a manual car. There's another Sanus Lavisa right here. Strong smell of cigarettes. Let's take a look at this one. The car is not available in the demo. It's the 1999. That's the newer Silvia, so we can't get that one. This Lavisa is the 89. It's low on fuel. It's also a manual. Like I said, I have an auto and a manual in my shop, and I'm going to show them both to you because I want you guys to see the difference. As we go around the car to look, interior looks stock. That looks stock. Everything is pretty stock with these. But every now and then on this screen when you're buying a car, this one or the interior screen, if something has been modified to it, you'll see that here. You'll see that it's got maybe different engine parts, different intake manifolds, different turbo, different intercooler. Like, if any of that stuff has been purchased, you'll see it here. So keep an eye out for that later when you're playing the game. You might find yourself one that is upgraded from what you were able to purchase before. Save yourself some money in the long run. If you do buy a car that is in rough shape, if it's got an engine oil leak, or if it's got a rod knock or whatever it might be, when you come down here to the garage, once you've purchased it, they're all going to appear down here. So this one, if I go to drive this car, it's going to put us in my main spot. This is one of the base level manuals that I had already purchased, but I have not touched this car. This is how it came from the auction. So you can change the oil. You'll see that the oil is red right there. When you go to change it, it's going to bring up that oil level and make it green. Changing the oil is kind of important in the game, because if you don't, it makes the car overheat earlier. And so make sure that you are changing your oil, you guys. This is one, like I say, I bought later from the auction. The reason I wanted to show this to you, you guys, is when we get to the engine, you'll see that that's not the same level of engine modifications that the ones in the auction had that we were just looking at. This one's got a turbo on it. This one's got an intake that's been done on it. This one's got, it looks like a better radiator in it. It's got different headlights on it. There's a lot of different stuff that's been done to this car, so when I bought it from the auction, it was a little more expensive, but it already had some really expensive parts already put on it. So it's pretty cool in that regard. I will switch back over to this car, which is bone stock engine-wise, and it's automatic, because I want to show you guys the contrast between a bone stock car and a car that's fully leveled up, which is what I have sitting over there. So our bone stock car is here. The car value is up a little bit because it does have some performance parts put on it that I have now removed. When you remove the parts, they go over there on the rack on the wall. And it does have some different wheels. It does have upgraded brakes, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be too big of a factor for us for the sake of the video. So I'm going to go into the customization screen, and we're going to touch on all of the customization for the cars. If you're not interested in spoilers, you want to surprise yourself with this, you're here for driving mechanics, go ahead, skip a little later in the video. If you're watching this during the premiere, you're along for the ride, puppy. So anyway, we'll go into the exterior mods first. There's a lot you can do within that, and we are going to go to the store. The store is where you buy everything for all the cars, and it's like there's a different store. So right now we're in the cosmetic store. Even though the backdrop's the same for all of them, you have to leave and go back in for each different sector that you're trying to change. So there's 15 different cosmetic items you can change on the exterior portion of the car. We are on one. As you go through it, they are 15. So I'm going to scroll through them one by one. The headlights, 25 different headlight options, and they vary in price. You'll see that it's 105,000 yen to get the stock headlights back on there. And then as you go through, they change. And they change in price on the right hand side up there, 1.3 million for those carbon fiber prototypes. But you'll also see that those carbon fiber prototypes have a less weight by 2 kilograms than those ones do. And so weight is a factor. As you upgrade your car with different parts, you're going to be reducing the weight. Lots of different things to choose. You can get kind of the sleepy eye look. You can get the wide eye look. You can get those kind of like almost NSX style front headlights. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do. It's pretty cool. Front bumpers, same deal. Now, the front bumpers offer us a new category. It's weight and downforce. Downforce is a big factor in this game. It helps the cars handle a lot. So you can go from basic stock, which is 1144 kilograms, and no downforce, and then as you level it up, it gets higher and higher downforce, and it can get lighter. So you're lowering the weight of the car, which is helping your handling out, and you're giving yourself more downforce, which is helping your handling out. So there's a big difference between 170 kg of downforce and 90. So you can go through that. There's 72 different bumpers. It looks like there's 3 different tiers for each one. And so if you want to be full drift missile all the way up to like straight up time attack mode, you can really do that. So keep an eye out when you're upgrading your car, you guys. Downforce is really sweet, and the weight's really important. It really does change how your car accelerates, and so keep that in mind as you're going through these. Front fender, same kind of deal. There's only a couple different ones to choose from. I mean, there's 16, but like you can go from regular weight to a carbon fiber one, take out 5 kilograms. There is no downforce options here. These are just weight reductions and then styles. So pick one you like, make it look cool. They are very expensive. The hood, there is 3 different styles of like hood you can get into it. So it's the base hood, different hood pins, and then hood pins like, stock, a set of hood pins on the hood, those style of hood latches, and then a carbon fiber hood with those latches. And then there's up to 40 different hoods that all do that same rotation. So it'll be the base model of that hood with the pins, with the latches, carbon fiber version of that. And then obviously the carbon fiber version takes off right around 15 kilograms, which is quite a lot of weight reduction. So it's pretty sweet that you can do that. And spoiler alert, if you want to drive around with no hood on the car, you can do that. You can take the hood right off the vehicle and drive around hoodless. Get that topless thing going. Mirrors are the same deal, different mirrors to choose from. Side skirts, these offer downforce, so make sure you're picking a part that's going to give you optimal downforce and weight reduction if you can. 56 different options. I know I'm going through them quite fast, but this video would be incredibly long if we spent a lot of time just going through that. Rear bumper, same deal. Lots of different rear bumpers to choose from. We're looking at weight reduction on this one and also downforce, so make sure you get yourself one that's giving you the most. Center exhaust dump, pretty damn cool. Lots of different things you can do here, you guys. 64 different bumpers to choose from, or variations of different bumpers. Rear fenders, same kind of deal. We've got 15 different ones. You can go from carbon fiber to these things on here, which is pretty Bozuzoku style. You can really customize these cars. This is the only car that's available in the prologue, but I'm sure that there's going to be a lot we can do. Lots of different taillights. Weight reduction here, you guys. We're not doing anything with the downforce when it comes to the taillights. And then also our trunk. Look at the trunk, guys. We can put the little pins in it. We can then make it carbon fiber, or you can delete the rear glass altogether and give it kind of a, I don't know, MR2 look or a Fiero look or NSX style. Like just drop in a lot smaller rear window, and then you can go carbon fiber with that and reduce a lot of weight as well. So pretty cool with that. Spoilers, same deal. There's 48 different spoilers to choose from of various composite materials, so that way you can get a little bit lighter weight if you want to do that. And obviously downforce is a big factor here, you guys, so make sure you get yourself a rear wing that has the best downforce. Which is funny is because this one's kind of a slower profile one. It's lightweight, but that's the best one. That's the prototype. It doesn't give you as good a downforce as this big wing does. And so even if you're getting the prototype one, some offer more downforce than others. I've got this particular wing on my car because I like the way it looks, but these ones offer better downforce. So be aware of that as you're going through. Exhaust, weight reduction is the only thing that changes here with the style, and you can get pretty wild with it. So make sure you're picking something that you enjoy and like the look of. Roof spoiler, there's 3 different ones to choose from. I think that's pretty sweet. I like those. You don't see those around very much. And then, like all the best video games that have ever been produced by human hands, you can put roof scoops on this car. Let's fucking go. They do nothing other than add weight, but they are really cool. So if you're a roof scoop kind of guy, you can slap those on your vehicle. And then you can go full carbon fiber doors if you want, and take a lot of weight off the car as well. Those are all things I still need to do to mine. I've got mine fully built with the customization side of things, or with the engine, but I have not gone in and done full weight reduction kit on my best car. So that being said, when you're in the edit view, the other cars don't appear in the garage, but if I press B once, it'll take us back to the main view. And then our normal cars are over there off to the right. You can have 3 cars in your garage. Maybe 4. I haven't tried to buy a 4th one yet. I'm not really sure. So you'll see that this is my custom one. I've got it pretty tuned up. We've got the arrow. Like I said, I did have that wing, but it's not the right one. I can increase it a little bit. I can make it a little lighter, make it a little faster. But now let's dig into the engine upgrade portion of the show, you guys. There's a lot you can do with the engine. We're going to go to the store and I'll show you. So out of the gate, your car starts with 202 horsepower, 191 on the torque, and it's got 89% cooling. The cooling is important because as your car heats up when you add nitrous, it does not perform. When you get to max temperature, your car will just go slow. And so you can't overheat your car. And so when you're doing things, you'll see that we go from a stock air filter to a street air filter. And that changes the air box on the right-hand side of the car. It kind of puts a little bit better, like a K&N air filter on there. And it gives us a little horsepower bump, but our cooling goes down because now we're generating a little more power, a little more heat. We go up from there. Now we've got a different air filter on the end of that, more of a performance one, and same deal, more power but more heat, so our cooling isn't as efficient. And then you can go to a prototype, which is the best, and it basically just tiers up. We get more power, more speed, less cooling. Exhaust manifold, same kind of deal. We're looking right there kind of on the right side of the car. There's the stock exhaust headers. Then there's a kind of a different style there. They slope down. Then we get maybe more to a titanium one. And then you can go full prototype, and that looks like it's got a bit of a catch can with it as well, or a different sensor that goes in there. And you'll see that our cooling is going down quite a lot as we do that. More power, more heat, not going to be as efficient at cooling. Intake manifold, that's going to be on the left side of the motor there, you see. So that's like, just that one is a big step. And then you can upgrade to a really crazy intake manifold. That all being said, it doesn't cool as efficiently when you do that. So then you get to the intercooler, guys. The intercooler on this car, I'm going to try to get an angle to where you guys can see it. It's that little box down on the right-hand side under the headlight. It's going to be the driver's side of the car, well, passenger side of the car because we're in Japan, but it's right there tucked under it on the right. So as we do an upgraded intercooler, go to a street one, and then you can kind of see, look on the bumper. Right behind the bumper, we see the little baby intercooler on the right-hand side of the license plate. Then we go to a bigger one, and that's also changing the piping for the intake and the turbo on top, right there. And then as you upgrade that, the intercooler itself gets larger, and then you go to a full prototype, and that also changes your blow-off valve and all your piping up top. So it's pretty cool. The different tiers change what's going on in the car. I really like that. And by doing that intercooler, you bring up your cooling level a lot. And you need to have that when you start adding power and nitrous because you can definitely overheat the car. I'll show you that here in a bit. Radiator, same deal. Different radiators, catch can for the radiator, bigger vents, more room, all overall just a lot bigger product in there. And you can do a lot with that. So it's pretty cool, the attention to detail on this. The spark plugs, you'll see that it actually changes the coil packs on the top of the engine there. So if we go backwards from the prototype to the stock one, it puts the cover back on. And it's just the little things, right? Turbo, right-hand side of the engine, we go from a stock turbo to a street. That changes the piping going in. And then we get a bigger turbine. And then we get a bigger turbine with a heat shield when we go to the prototype. It's pretty sweet. So once again, attention to detail. Huge power bump, almost double, not quite. But our cooling goes down a lot, so the car would overheat very easily. Fuel system, same deal. More power, less cooling. Engine block. Now, we have a new metric when we get to the engine block, strength. If we tier up our engine block and go to a prototype, we get a little more power bump, but our strength goes up a lot. The strength of the engine, with my general understanding, and I could have this a little wrong, but the way I see it is happening is when the car overheats, it stops working efficiently. The more strength you have in the build, the longer duration you can have the car running hot before it starts to slow down a lot. And so I think that by making your block a little stronger, it allows you to be a little more abusive with like nitrous and stuff. Now, you can change the cams. The cams add a little bit of a kind of a catch can to the back of that. Nothing really serious there, but a huge horsepower bump. But you'll see that it increases the top speed. The reason it increases the top speed is because when you add cams and you work the head on this car, it actually takes the red line of where your maximum shift point is before it starts bouncing and increases that number. So you can go from like 7,500 RPM and you can go all the way up to almost 9. So as you increase these parts, they actually change the way the car drives. And so the same deal with the head. You can't see the difference there, but we're adding parts and we're increasing the top speed a little bit, but that helps us bump up the red line, which is just like real life. When you put more aggressive parts in your car, when you do bigger camshafts, when you do valves and springs, there's a nuance or a thing that happens. It's called valve float. It's when your engine is spinning so fast that the cam comes, it hits the valve, opens it, and then it rotates again so fast that the spring can't close the valve before it's time for the cam to open it. And so it stays open for a duration, and that's called valve float, and that's really bad. You lose a lot of performance when that happens, can cause damage to the engine, and so you increase the springs so there's more tension there, and so they close faster. And so it's like, by doing that, you can then raise your red line because you don't have valve float, and it works like that in real life and also the game. Just nerdgasm. I'm out here, guys. It's awesome. So we can do bigger pistons. Adds a lot of power to the car. Oil cooling. This is going to help with our cooling as you do. I think this actually puts an oil cooler in the car when we go to that one. Let me try to get the angle on it. Maybe it's not this one. Yeah, no oil cooling that you can see. Then you can do the ECU, of course. And then more power, more heat, less cooling. So as you go through, I will show you on the back of the car here. In behind the seat, there is a little nitrous bottle there. When you buy NOS, if you go to any of these different things, the bottle stays. But before you buy nitrous, that bottle's not behind the seat. But this car already had it because I was doing some testing earlier with it. So it's pretty cool. Right now, it's not back there. It's yet though. Once you purchase it, it shows up. I think that it's really slick that there's nitrous, and that they actually put a physical bottle in the car. Just little details, right? So after that, there's transmissions. You can go stock gearbox, street gearbox. That changes the gear ratios a little bit, gives you a little bit better top speed. And then you can go straight cut gears. Straight cut gears are what they use like in the rally cars and a lot of race cars. They're loud. That's why they don't put them in street cars, because instead of the gears having rounded edges so they mesh really smoothly, they're just straight. And you get really good hookup. It's good for performance. I mean, it's really not great to drive, but for racing purposes, it's definitely the way to go. They're stronger. They're really, really robust. But they're loud. There's like a gear mesh whine that you'll hear. And so you might have heard rally cars like, kind of just hearing the transmission revving up. They've got that in the game. So you can go long ratio, straight cut gears, or you can go short ratio, and short ratio would be a lot lower top speed, but it'd be better for drag racing. That is all the engine side of things that you can do with this car. There's a lot you can do. We're going to keep this one stock because I want to show you guys a stock version versus a built version and show you all the differences there. Forced induction, we can't touch that in the demo. It is not available to us. Handling. This is where you get to change a lot of stuff on the car. So we're going to go to the store of the handling so you guys can see everything we can do with that. You can upgrade the brakes. This has already got some upgraded brakes on it. The stock brakes are kind of tucked in there now. And then as you get the street brakes, you get a different disc and a different rotor and a caliper, bigger calipers and rotors, and then you get the prototype ones. From brakes, control arms, this is going to help with the way the car handles. You can't really see them back there, but we just got to trust. These actually make the car turn a lot better. Coilovers, same deal. Make the car handle a lot better. Sway bars, both front and rear, makes the car handle a lot better. There's the rear sway bars. Differential. This is awesome. This is another thing, attention to detail in the game. Car comes with an open diff. Differential allows the wheels on the rear of the car to rotate at independent speeds. Because it's rear-wheel drive, front wheel would be the same way. When you make a turn in a car, the outside wheels need to spin more rotations than the inside wheels because they have a longer track that they are traveling on. So an open differential allows the wheels to do that without there being any issues. A limited slip diff is the same deal, but under power, it makes the rear wheels lock a little sooner, so that way you can kind of slide the car, I guess you could say. It slips, but it's a more controlled slip, and as you apply power, that slip goes away. And so it's, for racing purposes, it's pretty good. And then you've got a race differential, which is going to be the upgraded version of that. And then for my drifters, or maybe anybody that knows the game, welded differential. You can take the rear diff on a car, you can weld the gears together so they no longer allow the outer wheel to spin freely independent of the other wheels. So that way is like if the left side of the car is turning, the right side is turning at the same time. You can do that in the game. Donut Media did it with their 350Zs, I believe. And it's funny, the low car got a welded diff, high car got a very expensive diff. And they're like, welded diff's the way to go. And so I just think that's freaking awesome that that's in the game. And it's 150 yen, which is nothing, whereas the race differential is 240,000. So it just gives you an idea, like, just kind of the attention to detail in the game. It's super cool. Steering knuckle, this is something you would put in for drifting. And those are all the suspension parts. Once you actually have those installed, you can then increase and change the ride height of the car, and I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. It looks to be there will be some engine swaps. We don't have those in the demo, but it'll be cool to slot maybe an LS motor in one of these. We'll see how it goes. There's paint customization. You can change the hue, change metallic, whatever you want to do. And then the livery editor, you can actually import photos that you have on your computer once they're a certain size and bring them into the game and kind of just start putting liveries on your car. So I think that's a pretty nice touch. Under the extras, you can add neons. As we do, toxic yellow, perfect. You can add interior neons of all different flavors. You can add butterfly doors, or scissor doors in this case. And then you can change your number plate and make it neon-y glow if you want. Pretty cool stuff. Let me show you the interior changes that you can make on these cars, because there is some really cool stuff that I think you guys are going to want to take note of, because there's performance options in this interior menu that I think a lot of people are going to miss because they're like, I don't care, I don't drive in the car. So let's dig into it. Interior main. We talked a little earlier about weight. So we've got regular interior main. If we want to add some subwoofers and speakers, you're going to see that those are in the back corner or the back hatch of the car. Very underground vibes right here. You want to put some speakers in there, but they add weight to the car and they change the handling because we're adding weight. You can strip the floor out, takes weight away, increases the handling. You can fully strip the car. It adds a fire extinguisher. It gets rid of the back hatch and the trunk and everything back there. Increases the handling a lot because the car's now lighter. And then you can do race spec, which puts in these little nets, which is cute. But it actually adds weight, so fully strips the way to go. We dig into the interior. You can then change the floor mats, get the Prada or the Bride ones, if you will, HKS looking, and then there's just a couple of different options there. There is a different dash you can do. There's the stock dash, put a mat on it, or you can get a carbon fiber dash, which reduces the weight, makes it a little faster. Steering wheel, if you're going to do this, you can put a sweet wheel on it if you're driving in the interior. I think it's worth it because every time you pull out of somewhere, you're in the interior of the car before it goes to third person, so you're going to see this. It's pretty sick, and if you're going to run nitrous, you got to have the buttons on the wheel, right? And I think that it's cool that they're like Sparco, but they're not Sparco. It's a great way to get around licensing and still have that same vibe. Gauges. This is an important thing here, you guys. I'm going to show you this car's stock, and I'm going to show you my car that I've got fully tuned up. The stock car has got the speedometer, the tach, the temperature gauge, and the fuel. That's it. As you go in here, if you put in a big tachometer like that of that color, that's going to show up in third person mode when you're driving around, or first person. It's there, you can read. But I play in third person. You're going to see that same color. And so if you want to do a tach, that's cool. Or if you want to do a different speedometer, you can do that too. If you buy these dash gauges and you get a 3-pod right there, or a 4-pod over there, those gauges show up in third person when you're driving around. Same deal. You go into the radio and you get a 3-pod of gauges there. They're going to appear, or you can go lightweight dash in the center. And so, or you can get a double din, but lightweight dash is going to be the most rate reduction you can get. Side pillar gauges, same kind of thing. As you add gauges to the car, you guys, those are going to appear for you when you're driving around, so you have more information to work with. It's really cool. Steering column gauge right here. You might put a better speedometer in it. The needle is buried at 220 kilometers in this vehicle once you start getting up to speed. And if you want to know how fast you're going, you need to upgrade your speedometer for that. Gear shifter, it's an automatic. We cannot change that. Okay. Handbrake, you can change, and you want to change if you want to use the handbrake in these cars at all. Right now, The handbrake in this stock vehicle, which I'm going to show you when we get it out on the road, is this one. And it's a toggle. Like, you press the handbrake button, it pulls it on, and it stays on until you press the button again and it puts it down. If you get the drift button e-brake or the hydro e-brake, it works just like all the other games where you just, you know, for the duration of you pressing the button, the handbrake's engaged, and as soon as you let go of the button, it lets go of the handbrake. And so if you want to get a functioning e-brake like every other game you've ever played, come in here and slap on one of the better ones so you can get that. And it's really cool that it just changes the lever there. I think that's really stinking tight. Driver seat. Pick your cool driver seat. In my regular car, I've got that one, which is pre-da, but it's a Bride Lomax, as I've got behind me right there. And so that's pretty freaking cool. And there's also some lighter weight seats as well, the Aeromax prototype. So go with what you feel there. You can remove the passenger seat. You don't do it at the store. You do it in the garage. If you walk up to the passenger seat, you can remove parts. If you take that out of the car, it makes it lighter. So go ahead and do that. Or you can make it custom, just like the driver's side. Rear seats, you can pick some cool ones, or you can delete them. Costs 150 grand to do that. I'm not sure why. I guess we're paying somebody for their time. But it does make the car a little lighter and perform a little better by doing so. Door cards, you can do carbon fiber. You can do no insert at all. Different options there. And like I say, we're lightening the car by taking some of that stuff out. It's going to help you out. Roll cage, I have not found a performance increase by doing this. It didn't make the car more rigid or turn better, I don't think. But you can add a roll cage if you want to get spicy with it. But that does add weight, which is going to cut down on your handling a little bit. That is all the interior sections. Really cool. Lots to do. Lots to be done. Once you do the wheels, let me show you what those look like, because there's a lot of different options for wheels. And I think that you guys are definitely going to want to see those. As we dig into the rims, there's, like, that's the Advan, but it doesn't say Advan on it. And you'll see some works in here a little later. So there's the Iniki FP1F or what, FRP1. I can't remember what it is, but very popular wheel with amongst the tuner scene. Rays, Graham Lights, Volk Racing, like the Meisters. There's a lot of really cool ones here. So there's 34 options, but somehow we have better wheel options than what Motorfest gave us. For the tires, you can do these budget tires, street tires, performance tires, or semi-slicks. Semi-slicks give you the absolute best performance out of the bunch. Or you can do drag tires, and those are Hotors. But you can also slap those on there as well. I haven't done a drag build yet. I'll probably do that in the coming days. But you'll see the huge difference between just base budgets and then getting those semi-slick tires for handling. So when you're upgrading your car, you guys, make sure you slap on some good rubber. It is important. That is the wheel and tire section, but there is a way to customize those things. So I will show you that here in a little bit. Hold on, let me get back to that. The handling, that's the shocks and everything else, but like we talked about, the paint, the livery. You can really make the car any way you want, do a lot with it. It's pretty sweet. I would recommend all you guys do that. Spend some time with the game. You can adjust the ride height, you can adjust where the wheels sit, you can adjust the camber, you can adjust the profile of the tires, how they fit on the car. I mean, there's a lot that you can do here. You can take the fenders off. You can take the hood off. If you want to, must be holding a door to remove a door, apparently. Okay. Take the spoiler off, put it right back on. Take the bumper off. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this, you guys, and I would encourage you to play around with it, because there was stuff that wasn't immediately apparent to me that I was like, alright, alright, right shoulder for wheel size. Like I say, the immediate, it's not easy to get to the menus. The menu system is not perfect. One guy doing it, but once you know how to get there, you can. So we can go all the way up to 20s for our rim size. But if we put on a different tire profile and put on some pretty big rubber, the most that we can get is like a 13-inch wheel. And so if you were to do like a drag setup, that's what you can get. But if you go like a low profile tire, you can then go back and put on a bigger rim and fit better. You can change the width of your tires. So we can put a big meaty wheel on there or a little bit smaller. 245s, I run those on my Supra. Your spacers, this is how far it sits flush with the body. So you can get that hella flush look based on what fenders you've got on the car, which is pretty sick. And then your tire style right here is going to be based on like if you've got drag tires and stuff bought for the car, you can change that. And then you can also change the lettering a little bit, which is pretty cool. So just know that there's a lot of customization stuff you can do here, you guys, and it's worth. All right, we've talked about everything under the sun with the cars. Let's go drive the thing, and let me show you the difference between a stock car and a leveled up car, and then let's go do a little bit of racing too. So once you've got it all set up the way you like, you come over here to the garage, you press A to exit, and we go out into the wonderful world and get to drive around. The countdown is, like I said, there's 12 hours in the nighttime that you get to play from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So that was kind of telling you what time it is. So here we are in our Levisa. Press up to bring up your phone. Press up again to get it to go away. Press down on the D-pad. You can change your fog. I think that might be for fog lights if you've got them installed on the car itself. Alright. Yeah, the fog lights. Not all bumpers have those. So in my performance car, I don't have that option, but it's pretty awesome. You can turn on your hazards. And then you can change your camera. Interior view, this is what you get. And those are the gauges you get to use. There's no other gauges off to the side, so you kind of need to be able to see those when you're cruising down the highway if you want to see when to shift. Here's first person view. All the gauges appear on screen just like they will in the next view. And then here is the regular view that I like to use back here. Now take note of a couple things. We are in the automatic, so it's only got 4 gears. It's shifting in the earlier gears around 6,900 RPM. Nice. As you go faster, the music gets louder and the engine gets quieter. Once you start to get to top speed, you almost can't hear the car at all, and you're kind of just in a flow state of driving. And now our speedometer is buried at 220 miles an hour. We're going faster than that, but I couldn't tell you what it is. And we're bouncing off the rev limiter at 7,500 RPM. As you slow back down, you hear the car again. Now, I was talking about heat and cooling and stuff earlier. I wanted to touch on that and show you guys now. On the right-hand side on the bottom is our temperature gauge. Right now it's reading kind of right in the middle. As I press right thumbstick to use nitrous, watch that gauge start to rise. So now we're at about 75% heat. We're about to start to really heat up the car. And we're in 4th gear, we're going top speed. Now the temperature gauge just came on both the tachometer and also the temp gauge itself. It's got the little red light there. I'm using nitrous. We're out of nitrous, and the car is slowing down a lot. I'm at full speed. The car is slowing down because we overheated it. We're at top speed right now, but we can't even bury the needle to go 220 anymore. The most this car is going to give us, buried in 4th gear, was that. And now as we slow down and I get out of the throttle, we'll let it shift a little bit here. Look how slow it accelerates. Our temperature gauge just went back to like a normalized state, so we no longer have that heat in the engine. And so it's going to accelerate better now. But that's kind of the deal. Look how fast we get back up to 220. Now the car's cooled down a little bit. And we've went to the edge of the map, so we can't go there because we're in the beta. But that kind of gives you an idea, you guys. Like, cooling, don't sleep on that. The more robust the engine is, I think the faster it cools, and the more strength you have is the longer it can kind of stay in that hot zone before you run into a real issue. We're now out of nitrous. The last thing I want to show you is I'm going to put the controller on screen really quick. Hold on. Controller's on screen. With that being on screen, watch the way the handbrake functions. If I press and hold the handbrake button, which is left bumper, it does nothing. As soon as I let go of left bumper, it turns on the handbrake. I have to press left bumper again to turn it off. On, off. If I press and hold, it does nothing. So it's kind of like if you want to do e-brake turns, you have to like toggle it on and then toggle it off. It's a little nuanced, but that's because we have a basic handbrake. Once you install that hydraulic one, you get a little more out of it. This is where we would enter the parking garage, but we're going to go swap into the fast car, and then I'll show you what some racing looks like and what it looks like to drive a real fast one. And through the magic and power of editing, we're now into my fast one. This is fully leveled up, engine, cooling, straight cut gears for the transmission. It is absolutely full blown, as much as I can do performance wise. I could probably change some parts to give it a little more aero and a little more weight reduction, but I'll spend that money here in a little bit once we get a little more, but I can't make it any faster right now. As we leave the garage, you'll see I have all these new gauges because we're in the real car. Watch when we go into third person mode, all the new gauges we now have on screen. Our speedometer is now changed. It goes up to 460 kilometers. Our tachometer is now white, so I can read it a lot better. I've made all my gauges white. Our boost gauge is now at the top, and it works really good. It shows us when we get 30 pounds of boost. Our water temperature is now not only a temperature gauge that's just analog, but it's also got numbers associated with it so we can see how hot we're getting the car. We've got our nitrous pressure gauge, which is just to the left of the speedometer. And then under the speedometer it tells us what gear we're in. This is a manual car, and so it's got all the gears. And now our handbrake works like a regular handbrake would in the game. I just press and tap it, and it's only on when I'm pressing and holding the button. And that's because we bought that handbrake lever in the interior section of the game. I've got the car turned off, and we're back at the garage. This is one of those attention to detail, like warm and fuzzy moments that I got from the game. Left on the D-pad starts the engine. Pay attention to all the gauges when I start the car. One more time. They all do a full reset. They swoop all the way up, they come back, and then they go to the normalized state. Really pretty cool attention to detail. We'll turn on our lights and we'll take out. Now, you'll remember in the automatic car, and same for the manual, the red line on this engine is right around 7,500, and the auto was shifting at about 69. So you'll see right now we're at 7,500 RPM. Let me punch it. It climbs all the way to about 8,900. So we've added, 1,500 RPM to the red line, and this thing is a lot faster. Typically our needle would be buried at 220, but because we've got an upgraded gauge, we can now see how fast we're going. Listen to the whine that this car makes. That's the straight cut gears. And as we approach a high speed, the music starts to come in and give us a little bit to vibe with. But let's roll here. Let's go to the car meet or to the parking spot and see if we can find somebody to race. Alright, as you load into the car meet, it tells you whose territory it is, tells you how much money you've made off these noobs, and what your record is with that car. Once you beat the boss of whatever that parking garage is, or that team, that group, the next night a new group moves in and then you can beat them and they've got different cars. So the very first people I was racing were in Silvia's. There was another one that looked like they were in like a Toyota Chaser kind of deal, like a 4-door. And then one of these guys had a Skyline and we were like, oh, it's the boss, it's the Skyline. They're quite fast. Another thing that is attention to detail that I love, or like, you'll see that their faces are blurred out. Kind of Slender Man kind of thing. He's a pretty tall guy smoking a cigarette. If you've ever seen any of the original like Team Midnight or 90s videos where these guys were doing really fast pulls on the highway, a lot of their faces were blurred out for the videos and stuff because they wanted to stay anonymous. And so the fact the game kind of plays homage to that is like a touch that is really nice. So there's our sweet ass car, and you'll see that the license plate is censored. Once you get to the second team, they've got a Porsche you can race. Eternal Sun, that's the boss. And you got to walk around and you basically like call these guys, and then you set up races and you run your car against theirs, and there's another Porsche. So he's worth about $3 signs, so we could probably get about 1,000,000 yen off of him. Tells you the rep that they have, which is how much they've got. It also tells you the route that you'll race them. So it's Kiba to Ariake, reverse, and then here's another Porsche sitting over here. So this group, this Endless, they have run a lot of different Porsches, which is pretty cool. This is a drag race, so it'll be short and sweet. And then over here is a Skyline parked, hanging out. Senji, he wants to run in the tunnel. So let me show you a drag race, and then we'll come back and we'll do we'll run the Skyline first. We'll run the Skyline first, and then we'll come back and do a drag race. Show you guys some of the gameplay loop. So you call them, they insult you. At least it's a manual. What's up? He wants to race for 695,000. I'm gonna reject that offer. Oh. Usually you can reject and then you can up the money. Alright, so that, like, apparently if we reject his offer, we just lose rep. Your rep there, once you get it to 10,000, you can race the boss. So I'm almost to max rep with these guys. Which would be cool. Maybe I can show you guys a boss race. The start of the races, if you've ever seen any 1320 videos on YouTube of how people do street racing, it's usually with a flashlight, and they'll bounce back, they'll hit the flashlight and turn it on, and then everybody goes. Watch. Square format because it's like we're watching it on a VHS. Okay, so we click in right thumbstick to flash our lights to let the guy know we're ready. I'm holding in clutch so I can actually rev up the motor. If you're not holding in clutch, you'll jump the start. Let go of clutch and hit the gas. Now, we've already got these guys pretty waxed. Behind us, we can see the fuel cell, we can see the nitrous bottle in the trunk. Let me show you a 4th gear nitrous shot. Oh, we almost died there. Straight cut gears, just running. You'll see that the guide marker is kind of pathetic. It just points right at the thing, and you gotta know what's coming. You can also press the back button and bring up the map to kind of see what's coming. If you smash into the back end of traffic, it doesn't like kill you or anything or restart the race. And if you wanted to go to restart, let's just say I was losing right now. Restart race. We have to ask the dude. He's like, you want to pay 174K for a restart? I'm like, nah, fam, I think I can win this one. But I've lost plenty, and I paid for a restart once. So we gotta get off the highway here and not stay on. And if you just stay on the highway, you just lose, dude. Like, we almost did not make that corner. Alright, dude wiped out, so we're pulling away from him. His signal's lost, meaning we're way ahead of him. You can turn off your lights if you wanted to. Turn them on like that, like that. So the faster you go, the more the music kicks in. And it's not like set to a speed, it's just kind of like when you get to the max speed of whatever your car can do. That's when the music fades in, the car kind of fades out a little bit. I need to hit the brakes a lot sooner. And the race is up here, the semi-truck trying to merge. So that's a race. The gameplay loop is lots of that. Go to the parking garage, find somebody that wants to race. A drag race is just a couple of short sprints. One of these point-to-point races is a lot like that. You try not to get caught up with traffic. Try to make sure you don't miss your route. You make some money. You make some rep. And you get moving. We have night rep of 0 right now. That'll go up because we've completed this race. The more night rep that you get, that kind of becomes a multiplier. And you get more money for it. So it's like a win-win, right? Like, you want to do a lot of races in one night and get the most out of it. And so we won 727,000 yen. We didn't get much of a night rep bonus, unfortunately, and that probably has a lot to do with the fact that we're a little overpowered for that dude. But regardless, we need to get to 10K, so we'll go back to the parking garage, and we'll do it again. Now, it starts you out. We'll start the engine. Watch the gauges. So dope. It starts you out wherever you're at on the map. So, like, if you just go to map, you tell me where we're at. On the right-hand side, the satellite GPS kind of tells us that we're in the Yumishima Koto City district. So Yumishima Park right there. It looks like we are parked right to the right of where that ETC is, if I had to guess. But we need to get back to the parking garage. So I'm going to just hang a left and go straight, and that should get us to the parking garage, I'm thinking. We are pulling back into the garage here so that way we can do another race. It's kind of funny because I did all the upgrades to this car, and when I hit the nitrous, this thing overheats. The shot of NOS that I've gotten it, that 75 shot, is like basically 3 of the smaller ones. And that's just enough to put me into the red zone almost immediately, and it is not awesome. So I got to be really sparing with the nitrous. This is the boss. We can call him and get the things going. He's the rep boss. It won't let us race anyone else because we have to go talk to that boss. Oh, I guess it will. So we could race this guy for more money, but we're gonna go for the boss. We're gonna get that going. When it gets to a certain point, it won't let you race anybody unless you race the boss. But this is the Eternal Sun guy. He's the rep boss. Let's see how much money he wants to run for. What's up? Wonderful. Yo. I don't have enough money to bet, so we lost rep from that. Weak, dude. Whatever, dude. We'll take this hoe right here. Coming at me like that. Let's go find ourselves a drag race. Let me show you guys a drag race. Kaido City East Loop. Is this guy want a drag race? Nope. Nobody wants a drag race. Alright, his reps 65, 75. What was it, other dudes? We're going to run whoever's got the highest rep. 91, yeah. Because we want to race him for like $1 million. $1,004,000. Undeserved. Rude. Yo. Alright, cool. These loading screens are a vibe, man. I love it. Alright, we got to be a little bit wary of our temperature gauge. If I hit the nitrous in this car, it's going to just run us right into the hot end, and we don't want to be doing that. So let's see what kind of performance we can get out of it with not awesome. Even with a fully built everything, it's actually kind of hurting us. Alright. The timing on those lights change. It's not always the same thing, so it's kind of funny. I've jumped the light one time. Watch my temperature gauge. Let me hit the nozzle one time. As soon as we click in the fourth, I'm gonna hit it on this hill. Alright, watch the temp gauge. Right to the moon with the temp gauge. Woohoo! Scuff that. So you'll see our temperature gauge is right on the cusp of being in the danger zone for us. So I cannot hit nitrous again, otherwise we get into the red and our car will slow down. And if we sit in the really high RPM range, I believe our temp goes up. Yo, it is. We were sitting in the high end of the RPM range, and it went to middle of the H. So I short shifted into fifth to try to disperse some of that heat so the engine wasn't working so hard. Just a nice little attention to detail. Back in the car here. Just under normal driving, you can overheat the car. I love it. There's another race. We waxed that guy. Easy clap, and we're limping along. A little baby that's a little hot, Give me that money. So that other guy wanted to race for like what, like 3.6, 3.7? Now we got 4 mil. We can run the boss again. We're ready to go. All right, and then we'll just skip to me pulling in the garage, and I'll show you guys that again. Yo, I was gonna take us back to the garage, but this dude just called me. He wants to run it back. Double or nothing. Say less, motherfucker. Give me that money. I'll run it back. Sometimes this will happen, but if you guys are playing this, don't get baited, because sometimes they'll lose, and then you run it back, and all of a sudden their car is like way faster. So, I don't know, this game is kind of unique in that sense. I love it. This time we're not going to use nitrous. We're going to see if we can just run hard without blowing up the car, without overheating it. Like last time we were right on the cusp. What the we're about to race. Kiko. My friend will go broke if they lose this race. Unlucky. We'll give you 1.3 to lose this race. No. Give your friend 1.3. I've got shit to do. I've never actually done that where I've took a dive on purpose, because you will get offered those, and I'm not sure if they actually pay or not. But I think I lose rep with these morons. I'm not trying to do that. Oh, drafting is the thing. Car's a lot faster in the draft, so be aware of that, guys. This car seems to be pretty fast all of a sudden. I really want to hit the NOS, but I don't want to be running with a hot car for the rest of the race. We're catching it. Yo! Alright, we're back to this. Sometimes that happens. Followed him specifically for the draft there. Yo. Our car appears to be pretty alright as long as we don't nitrous up to the hot end. We pulled way ahead of them. The car is heating up a little bit. Heating up a lot of it. Shit. Did I make a mistake? I had to check the map to make sure we were good. Now, old boy's right on our tail because we crashed. And our car's hot. Dude, we might need to go take a little bit of power out of this thing just for the sake of being able to maintain the heat. I really didn't think a fully built car was going to have a heat problem, but we might need to do something with it. Cool though. Food for thought. Fully built all the way, every part on the engine isn't necessarily going to be better. So we're going to race the boss. I decided I was going to go throw a little better parts on the car, just make sure I had the most downforce. Look what that did. All I did was add the rear wing, and our weight went down a little bit, our handling went up a little bit, our downforce went up a little bit, but our top speed went through the moon. We added like another 40 clicks to that. So that's going to be dope. I'm probably going to overheat the car, so that's neat. But we're going to slap it on here anyway, because that's what we do. That's what we're about this. Yo. And we'll put the stock part back in the car. Look at the interior of this car. There's the gear selector that we're in, so it tells us we're in third right there. And then watch the shift light. If we can get it to turn on. Shift lights on, it's blinking. I just wanted to show you guys that. I thought it was really cool. Let's go find a boss. Oh, there's a boss. That beautiful car right there. Alright, yeah, Eternal Sun Boss. Oh, we got 3.4. Let's see if he's gonna be a hoe and be like, you don't have enough money here to lose some rep. I deny this wage. Damn it. We always do it. Shit. Oh, no. End call. I didn't want to call him again. It was an accident. I didn't mean to do that. That was a mistake. Dude, we lost more rep because I accidentally pressed the fucking button. Not in love with that. We've already beat this guy. Oh, drag. Yes, I'll get to show you guys the drag. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. My win streak ends here. We keep beating up this guy. Let's take his money. Let's take his money. You can sometimes reject the offer and like bump it up a little bit, and sometimes they'll accept it and sometimes they won't, but usually they'll bump up their offer. But because I'm already losing rep from not having enough money to race the other guy because I'm a moron and pressed it twice, we're just gonna run it for whatever he's got and take another mil off him, because that's what we do out here. And we'll probably have to race the boss tomorrow night. Yeah, it's 7:23. It says 1 hour remains. It's actually like 37 minutes. So the drag races are pretty cool. This is where you would want a drag setup though. Like, we do burnouts. I don't know how to do a good burnout. If I hold the clutch in and then just, you know, rev it up all the way and then just do that, we get to about 36, maybe 40 Celsius. I don't know how to like do better than that, but we don't have drag compound or nothing on. So we'll flash our headlights. I love that you're in the cockpit view no matter what, even because we use the other view. And then we bring our RPMs up and we drop the clutch as soon as we see the light. Go. Little heat right at the beginning is not going to be a big deal. We're not losing this though. This car is really not set up for drag racing, set up for those highway pulls. But with that big ass shot of NOS that we got a lot of power. You run best 2 out of 3 on these, so we'll reset and do it again. I love how it's like CRT monitors. And you can rev it up. This would be right here. So dropping the clutch was a little better because we got to like 36. So there's that. Flash the lights. We're going to run this one in the dark, headlights off, because we're a real baller. Red line this thing. Bad launch. Oh, we went on the wrong side of the road. We lost. No. And we overheated the car. So now you know you can lose that way. And you drive back to the start with your tail tuck really. And there's no way, if you miss it like that, that's it. You can pay for a restart and it restarts the whole race, or you drive back to the route that you missed and finish, because there's no countdown timer. You can take as long as you want to get to the finish line. Believe me, I messed up the other day and like had to quit the race and lose all my money. It was a travesty. All right. So we're gonna like. I was kind of holding the front brake to see if I could get like it to burn out better there. It didn't. So I think the move is just holding in the clutch. What's this guy? He's talking to me. What do you want? Oh, they're trying this shit again. Yeah, you go broke. Why do you want to race me for another $1 million, dog? I don't think he will. And we're not taking the rep loss here. We're going to turn off our lights. Rev up our car to a decent launch. I'm thinking like 7,000 RPM sounds pretty good. Maybe 75. Yo, we won. Okay, cool. Get our spoils. Night will be ending. And go race that boss. We're so flush. We got so much money. 2.3 million yen. Oh, we got side bets of 1.2. Dude. Hella money. The moment I said we were over for the night, I realized that we've run out of night. It's the morning time. Let me show you what the night finisher looks like. So it tells you your cash earned, how much rep you got, what your race record was, and then it gives you a rating on your night. We got an A+ because we're balling out of control. I've had plenty of C-. And so we'll start another night. We will go back to the parking area and we will race these bosses once again. See if we can take home the endless title and beat these mofos. I love this. Let's go find a homie to race. Can we race the boss? The boss. Stuck behind the railing. We should have enough money to race. Yeah, 5.8. We're flush. We're balling out of control. We can totally afford to race this fool. Finally, we can race this guy. Finally. 3.6 million. Pussy shit. We got so much money, dude. That's nothing. That's nothing. Who couldn't afford 3.6 million, honestly? Anyway. I love the CRT screen, how that is. Like, it's just old school, man. It's so this game is such a vibe. All right, race 1 of 1. We got to beat this guy straight up. He's in his Team Endless Porsche, and we're in our Team Cornnut Sanis Nissan. And yeah, if you swap the N's and the S's, so it's like not Sanis, it would be Nissan. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty sweet. All right, so we can't nitro because our car still likes to overheat, but we're out here. This car's pretty fast. It's kind of short shifting a little bit because I don't want it to overheat in the first gear. I think if you're bouncing off the rev limiter, that makes you heat up faster. There's going to be a cap eventually to where, like, our car can no longer keep pace with the guys we're trying to race because they're out here, like, cracked Skylines and Porsches and 911s and everything. We're out here in, like, a little 2.0 with a floor banger. Don't get me wrong, we're pushing the horsepower, but it's not. We're blocking right now. We're blocking the behind us. Yo, we got it, all right. Sick, super fast, super tight. See, our rep and our night multiplier wasn't up that high. So ideally speaking, if you're gonna race a boss, you probably want to race him at like the end of the night after you've built up a bunch of rep and everything, because then you get more money. Yeah. Yeah, because like we raced for 3.6, side bet was like 396, but we didn't really have like a bonus or anything really factoring into that. So food for thought, if you're going to race a boss, maybe run for most of the night first and race them last, you know, when you're getting closer to that, you know, 7 a.m. kind of cutoff, 7, 8 a.m. to get the most out of it. Oh, he's talking to us. Traffic is a sign long before this. You cannot run from it. Join endless appeal? We're not joining endless appeal. We reject. Time is a flat circle. I'm telling you, man. These people. Oh, we'll refuel. That's a good idea. With 87 octane and like more nitro. That's good. That's good. Cool. Got that done. That endless guy, you know, oh, your time is a flat circle and it's been written in the stars, and it's like, because of the orientation between Mars and Jupiter, I can tell, and I'm very sensitive to these things because I'm an asparagus. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. What are you talking about? Alright, you've taken the parking garage from Endless Appeal. You're not a member of a crew. Ownership will change in the next night. So we won. We beat that crew. It means there's going to be a new crew. A third crew at this location. Who's this guy? Oh, he's in a newer Sanus. This is a nub we already beat so many times. Another guy we beat. Another little cute Porsche. That was a little clapped out, but I kind of like it. Then a little Skyline. I guess we'll race that guy, take some money off him. But everyone, that's the gameplay loop. Essentially, you're going to be doing those races. You can drive all around. There's like speed traps or tolls you can go through at speed. Night Runner is a game that seems to have a lot of mechanics that are working all together, and I think that's really special. I like this. This game is a vibe. There's something about just playing it that just hits different than a lot of the other games that are out right now. It's not going to be for everyone. A lot of you guys are going to look at this and be like, those graphics suck. Like, okay, cool. Mario Brothers is fun, and it's 2D pixel sprites. Graphics don't determine the fun of a game, and this game has a vibe that no other game really has right now, and it hits hard. So check it out. Keep an eye out for the Kickstarter. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time.